okay, and just
Okay.
talk about it. So
Maybe make
Mike,
co-host too, so he can share things.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Welcome, Mike.
Welcome,
Sorry
Mike.
about that. I don't quite know what happened there.
Okay, I'm gonna, we cannot join if we don't have an MCPS account. That's the problem. So
I was unable to uncheck that though. I don't have that option on mine.
yeah, so then there's like something else that you have to do. But anyway, I am recording this. So if you want to give your presentation,
Sure.
I'm gonna, hold on. This is just not cooperating with me.
It says recording up at the top.
Yep, and you're spotlighted. You are good to go. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. I apologize. I've been Zooming for a long time, but clearly I hit the wrong box. So I appreciate you being here. I will I'll speed everything up a little bit. I know that Dr. Mooney is talking at 7:30, right? Is that correct? Yes, I think that's the case. We should have plenty of time. I'm gonna start off with Mr. Ryan, our Booster Club president. He wants to talk for a few minutes about boosters.
Hi, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. And
Sure.
thanks everybody for their patience this evening. What I wanted to discuss is that the Boosters Club, we've been kind of behind the scenes a lot this year. We do have some things that I did wanted to discuss is that we put all our school store items online, and you can go to bccboosters.com and get your kids all this t-shirts and sweatshirts, sweatpants and hats there, and we ship it straight to you. We do it all ourselves, so you're really supporting the school when you do that. The other thing is we have our biggest fundraiser of the year that's coming up is the Mulch Sale. Last year, unfortunately, we had to cancel the Mulch Sale, and we had sold about 22,000 bags of mulch that the students would have delivered, but due to our good friend COVID, we weren't able to do that, so we canceled it. This year, we are back. We are not having the students deliver it again this year. We are using a landscape company that is owned by a BCC alumni, Pineapple Landscaping, and this kid's really sharp. He just graduated a couple years ago, and he's got a giant fleet of trucks and everything. So we're going to get all the mulch delivered this year. So if you go to bccmulch.com, you can order your mulch there. It'll be delivered the 13th and 14th of March, which is the perfect time of year to get your mulch delivered. And we hope to reach 25,000 bags this year, which we think is very doable. And it's something that everybody in the community really joins in. We have people who've been buying mulch for 15 years. It's a great event for us. So if you could please do that. We won't allow pickup of mulch at BCC like we did in the past. It will all be delivered. And it's the early bird special ends February 28th at midnight. So please get your orders in. If not, it'll be 25 cents extra a bag until March 12th when we cut off sales. And that's all I have. Mike, thanks for your support of us. That'll be it. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, now I will share my screen. I'll get into my presentation. I won't be able to see you. You are welcome to speak up, or you could put, I don't see a chat. After the presentation, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you would have. And
There is a chat, Mike, and if people want to put the questions in the chat, I'll try to handle it. I may be the only one who can see the chat because, well, I think people can see it, but I can see it as the host. So go ahead.
Okay.
Don't worry about the chat. We'll get it sorted out.
Okay, great. Okay. All right. Fall sports. All the normal fall sports are going to be offered except for bocce. Bocce is usually a winter sport, but we can play bocce outdoors, so we're going to play bocce outdoors. Everything's going to be outdoors except for volleyball, and we're 95% sure that we'll be able to play volleyball indoors. Everything else, including cheer and palms, will be outside. We're in the Central Division Pod 1. So we're with Churchill, WJ, and Whitman. If we get to the game portion, we're going to mainly play them. It's possible we could play them twice. It's possible we could get into Pod 2 and play these other schools. It's possible we could have a championship for the pod. We'll just have to see how everything plays out. Everybody is opting in. This is all optional. All of our coaches have opted in, and that's not the case everywhere. Almost every school has a few sports that are not being offered. So it's great that they're all being offered here at BCC. All coaches will take this COVID course. There's a video, but it's 5 minutes long. I think we should skip it, and I'll talk about what's going to be on the video. All right, your kids are going to have to bring this stuff with them everyday practice, and we can't share it. If you don't have a mask, I will have some masks to give. I'll have hand sanitizer. I won't have water bottles. I won't have towels. You can't do anything without a mask, though. These are our pods. Pretty much all of our teams are going to be on the stadium field. No one has really opted over here. If we play bocce, it'll be on pod 6. Cheer or pom could be here on pod 5, or it could be here also. And so if field hockey is going to practice here, they'd be split into 2 pods. They could have 2 pods together, just not, they can't mix. While I have this here, we're going to do drop off and pickup right here in the garage. So I'll have a table set up right where the cursor is. I'll have to check people in. I'll go over how that's going to work. So they'll get dropped off here. As soon as you drop off, please leave. Don't stay and watch practice, because you're not going to be allowed, unfortunately. So drop off, and if you're picking up, you're going to pick up here also, and hopefully that'll go smoothly. If we need to make some changes, we'll make some changes. I'm sure we will need to make changes. You need a valid physical now. So this is different from virtual, when you just needed to have one the previous year. So you need that COVID 4-question questionnaire also, and you all went through the registration process already that had a certain number of COVID questions. You have to register on Parent View. A lot of people are having trouble. I had trouble when I signed my own daughter up. So people are working through it. I'm trying to help people. If there's an address issue, which seems to be the biggest one, you've got to go through the registrar for that. And if you email me, I can give you her email, or you can look on our website. It's very important that we track everybody's attendance. So there's going to be a QR code. I'm going to have the QR codes all over the place. I'm going to give a QR code to each coach. If they're practicing off campus, like Coach Young will be, he's going to have a QR code. And the kids can take a picture of the QR code and even do it at home. So when they get to school to check in, I already have it in front of me on my computer. I can see it. That's got to be done every day. And if you're going to do it earlier, it can't really be much earlier than like 30 or 40 minutes. But that's going to be huge for us to take attendance daily. No spectators. at least at the start. It's possible it could change. Did I skip something? No. All right. So that could change, but for now, no spectators at games or practice. There's a live streaming that's going to be available through NFHS Network. So if you look that up, it's relatively easy. It's pretty affordable. Please pick up on time. We're really trying to keep people from hanging around for long periods of time. All right, practice info. If you're practicing outdoors, that's everybody except for volleyball. You can have a pod of up to 25. If you have 5 coaches, now you're down to 20 kids. So it's 25 total. Indoor teams have a limit of 10 people right now, which I know stinks for volleyball because they can't even do 6-on-6. Hopefully that'll change soon. Practice times are available from 3:30 to 9. That doesn't mean it's 3:30 to 9 for one practice. Each team's going to do either an hour or a 90-minute practice each day. Everybody's opted for the turf field. So we're going to go like 3:15 to 4:15. I'm going to go a little bit earlier, and then 4:30 to 6, and we'll keep on going that way. Activity can occur off campus. Cross country is going to go to Candy Cane City like they normally have, and he'll have the QR code, and he can get that scan there, and it'll show up on my computer. Stadium bathroom will be open, but it would be ideal, since these are short practices and we really don't want kids congregating, that you would go to the bathroom at home and, hopefully go through a whole practice without going. But it will be open. During practice, and this is kind of a change, face masks need to be worn at all times. If a coach wants to take like a break, he could kind of spread everybody out, and he could say, okay, if you'd like to take your mask off, you can take your mask off for a little bit. But we are pretty much saying that you should have your mask on for the entire practice. We're going to start off kind of slowly. So the first day will just be conditioning, and then we'll do almost a week of just individual skills, and then we'll get into like 3v3, 7v7, and then finally we'll be able to do like a full field, not a full team scrimmage type situation. And we're still waiting word for football equipment, but we think somewhere around the second week or so, we'll be able to pass out equipment. I put out a lot of information on social media. So if you're not following us on Twitter, follow us, because I put a lot of things out there. Anytime I get any kind of update or when we're having this kind of meeting, I blast it out. I try to keep our athletic website pretty current also, and I also blast it on Facebook, although not many people use Facebook. So Twitter seems to be the main vehicle for getting information out. All right, that was a lot of information.
Okay, we have questions. Are
Okay,
there
good.
going to be tryouts for any of the teams?
Okay, great question. There can be tryouts. It really depends on the numbers of kids that register. Right now, we don't have a ton of people that are registered, and even when we the most registrations we have is 45, but only about 20 are cleared to play because they haven't they've got all the paperwork in. So there can be if there's cuts, it would not be earlier.
Mike, you're going to have to unmute yourself because I just had to mute. Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right. So if there will be cuts, it'll be after 3 days. You'll have 3 days to show what you can do. Most coaches are leaning towards not cutting because I think our numbers just aren't going to be there. But just to put this out there, we can only have 25 people per pod, and we can have the 2 pods going at the same time. So it would be kind of hard having more than 50, because then you're talking about 3 pods. So that would be the only thing that would be hard.
Okay. How can you check for sure to know if you successfully registered your child?
You would almost have to reach out to me. I have sent a list to all of the coaches as of, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday. So they have a list of everybody that's been registered. Obviously, I have a list of everyone that's been registered. I thought I had signed my daughter up. I called the other AD and I had not finished the process myself.
Okay. So they should reach out to you and email you. Parents should email, and Mike's email is on the staff list on the BCC website. I will also put it out on the listserv. Are kids allowed to drive themselves and park?
Yes, but it would be ideal to not carpool.
Is it possible for there to be team photos if they're socially distanced with their uniforms or something?
I'll say that's not something I have an answer for, but it's something that we can certainly try to do.
Okay. When will the coaches be able to share practice days and times?
Registration ends on the 22nd. It's kind of, it's not a hard ending for registration. So if on the 22nd, I've got to turn in all of our numbers so we can determine what schools are going to be able to field teams and what schools are not going to be able to field teams. I will be able to take registrations after the 22nd. But to answer your question, I would imagine on the 22nd or shortly after that, you're going to get reached out to by your coach, and that'll have the practice times on it then.
Are there going to be practices over spring break?
If there are, I believe that they're going to be optional because I think the coaches also want to have that time also.
And do we have any information to share about winter and spring sports?
Well, we're hoping that spring will be kind of like this fall. I think for winter, there won't be a competition season, but we're kind of hoping to get something together for them just so they can do something, especially for seniors.
Okay. What about like having varsity and JV teams for sports?
We are hoping to have both, but again, it's a matter of numbers. You know, if we have 20 kids total, then it's going to be kind of hard to have a JV and a varsity. And it could be that we have a lot of 9th and 10th graders and fewer juniors and seniors or vice versa. So all of that's kind of up in the air.
Okay, yeah, and we don't know, like for the person who asked about softball, because that's a spring sport, we don't know.
Right.
What some players are obviously club sports are happening, especially with soccer and volleyball. I mean, any sort of guidance around that, like if you're a club player and you've got you've got a schedule for that already, is there flexibility in terms of your pod participation?
Yeah, I think the coaches are all aware of that. I know the girls soccer coach is going to go as early as possible during the day. And I think the boys soccer coach is going to go at the end of the day to they're going to try to make it so that they can do both. And they're also trying not to go every single day also. Because I think it would be really hard to have a club practice and a high school practice each on the same day.
Right. And the last we heard, this regards volleyball, which is indoors, is that the gym floor had an unfortunate water event over winter break. And so is the gym going to be ready?
Well, we're hoping. I think it was a fortunate because now we get a nice new gym floor.
True.
They started painting this week. I think it's going to take a week or maybe a little bit more than a week to paint. I think it's going to take about a week to cure, and then I'm pretty hopeful that we're going to be able to use that gym.
Okay, I think that this is activities that will happen on the weekends. Might there be games or practices on the weekends?
There could certainly be practices. I think we're trying to not have games on Saturday though.
Okay. And I believe that Chad Young answered this, but seniors for spring sports, and I have a spring sports senior myself, if they're offered, can seniors participate beyond their technical last day of school, May 28th?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they can go up until graduation, not their last day anyway. So,
Right. Graduation though for us is June 4th. So if they run, I guess, I mean, maybe they'll make an exemption for,
Non-graduation too. I don't think
I would-
graduation is.
I would think that,
or maybe it's the 10th. I don't know. Okay. What is the deadline for submitting a physical?
well, the official deadline is the 22nd. I'm going to keep that kind of soft. So as soon as you get it to me, please get it to me.
Yeah.
And they just won't be able to practice without it. So that's the big thing on the coaches. You know, if you arrive at practice and you don't have a physical, you're increasing the size of the number of people there without a physical. So I think the best thing to do would be to communicate with Mr. Krauzel and the coach as well, just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yes, thank you.
Right. It's also possible to get a physical. I mean, I know we have a lot of doctors in our community who don't recommend this, but you can get a physical at one of the urgent care centers as well, like Right Time Urgent Care and stuff. They can fill it out, and that usually does not entail the wait that you might encounter in trying to get an appointment in your pediatrician or practitioner's office. So that is another option.
Yeah, thank you.
Would a physical that was valid for online sports this spring still be valid for spring sports? Well, it's like a 12-month thing. So, but I think you probably have to get a new one. Yes.
Well, if you gave me a new one in the fall, then you're good to go.
Mhm.
You're good until next fall.
It's sort of whatever you need, one physical per academic year, basically. There's just kind of no way to.
COVID-19 supplements. So that's the big
Yeah.
one, because the spring ones, if you submitted something last winter or last spring even, then it would not have had that stuff in it.
Right. Right.
That's true.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I put out the new physical form came out over the summer. So if you got one from the summer on, then most likely you're fine.
Yes, if you submitted a physical in October and it had all of those parts, the COVID form. So I think all of this is in parent view, all the information for registration and including the forms for the physicals. I believe that's part of the registration documents in parent view. Am I correct on that?
I do have the physical form is on the website too. All the fall registration information is in the same story. And the physical is there, and the COVID page is the final page of the physical packet.
Okay. And it's at baronsathletics.net.
Yes.
.net. Yeah. If you all go to Barons Athletics, not yet. So we just got one more question, and I'm gonna. Can you confirm if all sports will have practice every day? I think the answer to that is no.
They will not. Yeah, they will not for sure. I think girls soccer is going to maybe practice 3 days a week because his girls we're all doing club also. But I feel that's just too much.
Great. And then finally, how can parents find out about letters and pins for their varsity athletes? Because some have athletes who never got their pins or letters from previous seasons.
I would think that would usually come from the coach, but I'm happy if you reach out to me. I'd be happy to do that too.
Okay.
I would start with your coach first.
All right. Mr. Young very helpfully put the link to the physical in the chat so you can see that. And then we'll sort of try to collect all this stuff between James and myself and resend it out so people have it in one place, one email, and hopefully eliminate confusion. Is there anything we missed? Anybody has another question? Anything else you want to say?
Just Lyric, thank you so much for stepping in and doing this at such a last second. Again, if anybody is interested in BCC clothing and stuff for their kids, we're selling it on the Boosters website, which is bccboosters.com. And then the Mulch Sale, everything is there. big bags of mulch, not little bags. And if anybody has any question or anything like that, feel free to email me off the Booster website as well, and I can help you with whatever questions you have.
Great. And I see one more quick question. Will football practice every day?
Yes,
Okay.
and probably even some Saturdays, but we'll see how that goes. But yes.
Mike, I have a question myself. With the sports picking up and everything, will there be signs or anything posted on the field so that all the people who are using the field on weekends and stuff will know not to use it?
Yeah, as soon as I'm able to get back into the building, I have 7 or 8 signs right on my desk that are waiting for me to put up.
Okay.
Sure.
I think we can also put that out. I mean, I know that Rex has done that in the past, and we can do a concerted effort to put that on all the local listservs. And then I think that there are some of the private school teams in the area that have taken full opportunity to use our fields. And so if that happens in our tennis courts, et cetera, that we can also reach out to those schools directly. I know Dr. Mooney's actually done that on a couple occasions when they've taken maybe additional liberties. And I'm sure that when we go through our other sports seasons, there will be more meetings like this because some of the guidance will likely change and other things, right?
Yes, of course.
And Mike, I was just ask a question. Will the games have a PA announcer to kind of give it more of a game feel for the kids who are playing?
Well, that is a great idea. That's not something that came up. I'm certainly happy to entertain that. And if you know somebody that would be interested in doing that, that would be great.
Yes, I have him on text now, and he's committed to every sporting event.
That's a good guy to know.
Ooh. And he's recorded too, so he's really committed.
We'll get that taken care of.
That can't work.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining, for coming to us when we couldn't come to you. Thank you, awesome, Mr. Young, for doing all that. You can see when my dog is interested and she's joined. So anyway, thank you all, everybody. And I will leave you so you can log into Dr. Mooney. But I hope everybody is doing well and take care. And, you know, it will actually be spring and we'll be outside and that will be great. So
Nice to have some life on campus. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but thank you for getting everything going for us.
Not a problem.
Thanks, Lyric.
We're happy to help. Always take care, everybody. We're looking forward to a great season. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night,
everybody.
Good night.